Listen-only mode.
Hey everybody, welcome to today's webinar. I know we got it rocking a little bit. Well, we're actually on time, but I know we usually get it started a few minutes early. Just as you guys are filing in, let me get the post up in the Facebook group. I'm running a solo mission today. Ilan's hanging out with Jay and Stu in New York, and they're talking some shop. Just get the post up. All right, let's get this in here. Cool. For those of you who are brand new, just drop the link into the GoToWebinar for the page. We do everything on Facebook, so that's where you can communicate with us. All right, cool. All right, just waiting for more people to get on. Looks like people are still coming in. So guys, the post is up in the Facebook group. It's right up here. So welcome to today's training. We'll be covering Aweber and landing pages today. If you've got questions and comments, throw them down below. I see Nigel just said hello. Hey Nicole, yep, we're getting going right now. So if you're on here, just head over to the Facebook chat group and you can communicate with us there, Nicole, okay? Look in the chat box on the right-hand side of your screen. You'll see I dropped the link in there. You may have to request access to the group. You see Terrell and Scott and Yuli. What's up, guys? Good to see you as always. Cool. Joe Humphreys, the always popular Miss Humphreys. Raj is here. All right. I need some moments. All right, everybody. So today we're going to be covering Aweber and landing pages, and I have some other training I want to show you guys about some things that we're testing out, just to give you guys some more thoughts about how to possibly market to your lists ongoingly. But if you have any specific questions, oh boy, I see we're rubbing off on people. If you have any specific questions about either or, please get them in the box, and I'll deal with those directly. Ilan will not be joining us for today's training. He's actually in New York meeting up with Jay and Stu to talk some shop. So they are out to lunch right now. And we're going to be chilling that over here. So let me pull up a few things here. So I can show you guys some examples. And then what I would love to hear right now is, so what is your guys' experience with autoresponders in general? Like what do you see, things that are working for you, things that are not working for you, so we can kind of share in a more of a mastermind structure so it's not such a one-way conversation. I would love to find out about people's different experiences with that. Is there anybody on this call right now that's so new that hasn't set up Aweber or is completely unaware of what it is? Let's start at least with there. And if you are, please don't be shy. Let us know because it's pretty critical for your business. Okay, good question. Well, let's start with the basics, and then we'll go from there. Obviously, most of you guys have probably been here for long enough to know that Aweber is your autoresponder sequencing, and after you guys get your leads in, that's where they do the follow-up sequence. It's also where, and what we strongly encourage you to do, is to broadcast to your lists. I know that can be a little bit scary at first. Right up there, we're probably making videos. What do I say? What do I write? What do I give them? That kind of stuff. And we'll be talking a lot about that today and stuff that is really working for me and Ilan over the last 3 to 6 months and has shifted our business tremendously. But it's definitely all about the broadcast. And I talked to Christian and Beer about how they do it, and they said that most of their apps that come in through the autoresponder are pretty much strictly through broadcasting. So I don't know what it is about broadcasting, but broadcasting tends to have a different appeal than autoresponders and usually gets a better response. And for some reason, people can tell the difference between the two, whether it's conscious or subconscious. I've never been able to figure out. But in general, broadcasting does seem to generally get better results than autoresponders, so just something to keep in mind there. If at any time any of you guys ever want to redo, customize, play with your follow-up sequences, whatever your list name is, you guys might not have, quite as many lists as we have here. We've actually been weaning ourselves off of Aweber, which is why you don't see all that many subscriptions coming in over here, and we've been using a lot more of Infusionsoft over the last few months. So, but our follow-up sequence for SFM is still here. We just don't really, at least where we're at in our business, we don't engage our audience with business opportunities so much on the front end of our funnel anymore. We tend to back end them into it once we've done some training and have built relationships with them. Also, what you might notice that's a little bit different than what some of you guys have is that our follow-up sequence is shorter. For the most part, I'm really only interested in them going through the bootcamp series, and then maybe like 1 or 2 other emails to follow up with them once that's complete. But from there, it's really about developing that relationship off of this sequence or broadcasting to them or doing different things with them. But one of the major shifts for Ilan and I think in the last 6 months, is that we really did stop looking at the income that we're earning as the I would say not as not looking at it as a measure of success, but not the measure of success in our business anymore. I'm much more interested in getting emails from people these days that said, that piece of content changed my life. That piece of content made a huge difference in my business. Thank you so much for last night's webinar. Like, love working with you guys. Thanks for the community structure. Thanks for the support. Thanks for the software. All that kind of stuff for me these days is a much greater measurement of where we're at in our business and who we're affecting. And ultimately, if I look at why we got into this industry, into this business, it was to do things like that. So the money seems to be a result and a response to having that be our number one concentration. And I could tell you, and it's not to gloat, we were just doing our taxes the other day, and with that mentality, so I want to show you what that's led to is we've increased our income from last year by 4 times, even a little bit more. So like about 400+% increase in our income year over year, which is, absolutely incredible. And I will say that I think that's part of why that's happened. So I'm going to talk to you guys about some of the shifts that we see in the industry, where we see autoresponders being effective, where we see them being ineffective, and again, like the shifts that have happened in the industry. Because even when we got in about 3 years ago, at that time, the transition between pushing and pulling, meaning where you do direct marketing to somebody over and over again, that seemed to be dying right as we kind of entered the industry, and the industry was shifting a lot more to kind of a pull mentality, meaning, giving them quality content. And I would say it's probably like 50% when we got in. Within about a year and a half, it was about 80-20, meaning you have to pull about 80% of the time, push about 20% of the time, because of so many different communication devices that have arisen in the last few years because of smartphones. I would actually say in order to capture someone's interest today, you probably need to be in the 90 to 95% pull and about 5% push, which is a little bit different than what most people expect, because most people expect that as long as they're doing direct sales marketing, they can make sales. But if you really think about consumers these days and how much smarter they've gotten, the honest truth is, even if I go to a retail store and I see a product, I'm pulling out my cell phone, I'm doing either research on the spot, or I'm scanning the barcode and I'm seeing if Amazon or eBay, or if I could buy that product cheaper. And the only reason that I might buy it in the store is if I want to bring it home that day, and my opportunity cost for shipping it is worth the extra money, right? So it's kind of the same idea with everything online today. Brand association, having authority with people is ultimately what draws more sales in, probably more than anything today. So we're going to be talking a lot about, how we do that, and, proper etiquette today as far as autoresponders and stuff like that. So is there any questions that I just talk over anybody's head about what I just said? Just out of curiosity. Let's see. Just to quickly respond, Dr. Jill writes, I love my autoresponder, but I did several solo ads last year, and none of them went into my autoresponder. They're going into Aweber before 2013. Any clue why? I'm not really clear about that last part. What do you mean they were going into Aweber? It could just be the fact that you didn't have it set up properly in the back office. If you look under My Autoresponders, you actually have a choice as to where your leads are going. I believe, right? You can actually, or maybe it's under My Funnel Settings. Let me check real quick. Yeah, over here you can see you could do like autoresponder. So you have system default autoresponder or six-figure mentors on Aweber. I think if you're just doing system default autoresponder, even if you're sending the leads into the system, you're technically not the owner of those leads. It's just like a system default. That would be my guess if I'm understanding your question properly. But if you have things set up the right way, it'll always go into your personal autoresponder. All right. So having said that, guys, let's just take a look at the basics back here. And no, I did have it set up correctly to go to the autoresponder. I was getting them except for 2013. I really don't know, Dr. Jill. You have to take that up with support. I'm not even clear exactly on what you mean they were going into Aweber, since you're the owner of Aweber. If you can clarify it, I'll do my best to answer, but I'm not really clear about how you can send lead to Aweber and not have them be your lead. So, guys, so look, if you want to edit any of these, just so you understand, when you set up your autoresponder back here, one of the beauties of our system is that all the copy has been written for you, professionally written copy. So if you haven't done this already, back here you have your bootcamp emails, this code right here. That's basically an autoresponder code, and you can copy and paste that into your follow-up sequence. So if you go into your list and you go into follow-up series, that'll bring up this page. And then at the bottom, it'll be use a predefined campaign. by entering the campaign code. You can paste that code in here, hit load campaign, and you'll have a series of emails ready to go in here. Just make sure that when you do that, you also go to your list settings, and all these instructions are in the SFM back office. I just want to make sure that you're not sending leads and they're not being sent to the right pages when they click on stuff. Under personalize your list, down here at the bottom, we have what's called global text snippets. And you'll see that these are in here, but you need to come back here and actually edit these yourself so that your name is in here. Because if you don't set up your username back here, even if people are clicking on the links in your emails, they won't be going to your pages, and then you won't get credit for any sales that come through. So this is critically important that you actually set this up with your username and ID in SFM, okay? And then obviously the free report, you got to set that up for yourself as well, so it's branded. And all those instructions are in the back office, so I'm not going to go into great detail, but I do want to make you aware that this stuff has to be done, or the emails are not going to be appropriately linked to your stuff, okay? If you ever want to edit anything back here, you can always go into your follow-up sequences and hit edit, which means you can either customize it or kind of like reword it or rebrand these emails, so it's a little bit more in line with what you're trying to accomplish or your voice, or stuff like that. Obviously, back here, this is coming from, I believe Stu wrote these, or I think Stu wrote these. So it's kind of his voice, not yours. If you're just getting started, this is honestly not anything you need to worry about. And I could tell you from myself and the other top earners in the company, we don't mess with this stuff too much. We just send high-quality traffic. And you've heard me say that many times about just don't worry about that stuff. Just send good traffic, and the system absolutely converts as is. You can see I branded it a little bit just by putting, a picture of me, Stu, Jay, and my brother. And you could do that too, because, over here it says speak soon, Stuart, Jay, and it should have your name. And then it says, P.S. These emails will continue to be sent from me, Guy Ferdman, so please keep an eye out in your inbox so you don't miss the training. So over here you might want to put a picture of yourself just so they have some kind of recognition of who you are and they have a name to a face. And that's what you can do there. So one of the things that I do recommend that you may want to try, and this is something that's kind of been at least a shift in my mentality, and I think a lot of it is due to the way that emails are working today. As you guys know, and I'll pull it up just so you guys can see it. Maybe you don't know. A few months back, I don't use that version of the inbox because I like to mark my things by unread first. But most people are using their default inboxes in Gmail. Maybe they don't even do this anymore. Oh, here we go. So as you know, a few months back, Gmail changed their inbox and they started splitting things in your inbox into these separate categories. So anything that basically had an unsubscribe link is considered a promotional email. In my mind's eye, that was kind of the first day that the jig was up. Prior to that, we were very considerate of trying to make all emails look like they were emails coming from your friend. And while I think there's still value to that, at the end of the day, if somebody you're sending email to is using Gmail, and a very large majority of the world is, for the most part, people can tell a marketing email from a friend, from an email they're getting to a friend. So I think to kind of position it that way is, these days might be a little bit underhanded. It's just an opinion. It's not a fact. So I've kind of gone the other way with it. I'm all about making emails look kind of more marketing in nature. So to give you an example, here's one of our follow-up sequences that we do outside of Aweber. I just want to show you what it looks like. And I'm actually testing the exact opposite right now. I'm actually testing very branded emails. So in the past, I wouldn't do an email that looked like this. So it wouldn't have the gray on the side. So I'll send a test email so you guys can see what it looks like. But I would do something like this. I would make it all white. I might push this to the left. Let's see, that didn't work. And I wouldn't have, any kind of branding on my email, again, because my inclination was I want to make this email look like it came from a friend. But considering these emails are now going into promotion boxes, I know Hotmail is doing the same thing. I don't know if Yahoo's done that too, but I'm sure everyone's going to follow suit. Soon Gmail is going to add a feature which literally has a big unsubscribe button. above any email that's promotional in nature. So, again, it's going to kind of just tell the person you're looking at a marketing email. So in my mind's eye, it's like, look, I'm always about being, as honest or portraying the right, honest, kind of projection of your business. So if that's the case and they know it's promotional in nature, then why not make it look promotional? Why try to, make it look all sneaky? So I'm kind of going the other way with it right now, and I'm testing to see if this actually gives us higher conversions. I don't have any numbers to give you, but it's something you may want to try also, and you could definitely do this in Aweber as well. So for instance, up here, if you're going to edit the email, and guys, again, I want to point out, I'm not telling you that this is what's working now. It's just something I'm trying and that you might want to consider also as just a test, especially if you're seeing you're not getting a good response from your autoresponder. So over here in Aweber under templates, you have this plain, like plain template, and you can either make it left aligned or centered. So you might want to even play with stuff like that, or just look at some other templates over here. I wouldn't do these like big HTML complicated ones, but you might want to pick something that gives you simple borders on the sidelines, or maybe allows you to put a headline on there. Again, if they know they opted into something that's marketing something to them, I say, give them what they opted in for, like to try not, instead of trying to be sneaky and pretend like you're a friend when you're not. Other things you might want to try is to actually use this share feature. You can drag down a share feature so people can actually share the content. So if they have a friend that they might want to share it with, maybe it's not for them, but maybe it's for a family member or friend, might be a good way to get some extra traffic. And then finally, one of the things that we tell you guys over and over again is to use a tool like Visita, right, for scheduling purposes. So let's not use this email as an example. For those of you that don't know Visita, again, it's like an automatic scheduling program. It's VCITA. Let me throw that in here. And we've used this for years. It's a really, really great program. Makes it very, very easy to schedule people. The reason I say schedule people is especially when you're new and you're trying to, make your marketing dollars go further, the best way for you to get people into the system is to connect with them. Again, I know that can be scary because you're like, well, I don't want to get on the phone and I don't really want to sell them anything, and a lot of people have that mentality, but it's really not about selling anybody anything. You'd be surprised how far you can go with someone just by listening to what issues they're having in life and then listening for how you can solve those issues. That doesn't mean that SFM is always appropriate for everybody, but if somebody is willing to open up to you, let you know what's going on in their life and say, here's what would make a difference for me, you can hear whether SFM is appropriate for them. If it's not, and you've been around online for any period of time, you know that there's a lot of other resources that you can point people to. But what this allows you to do is to earn trust with that person, give them, significant value, perhaps for not a lot of money, and then eventually at some point in time, as a thank you, because humans are just reciprocal by nature, that person is going to take a look at your emails more, they're going to want to engage with you more, and they're going to just look at you for authority in terms of where to turn when they need to go to the next step. So you have to kind of look at it as sometimes it's a longer term play if people don't see SFM as the right opportunity for them right away, okay? So that's just something to keep in mind there. But one of the things you can do, so let's say throughout the bootcamp series, one of the things I'm very interested in doing is connecting with people. I know that I want to get on the phone with people. I know that I'd like to have what we call quality conversations, at least 5 of them a day. So something that you can do back here that I do encourage as a really good practice is to start using these different tabs up here, right? So one of the things we do is we'll put like a divider tab in there, and then I might do something like throw an image in there. So maybe I'll go on Google real quick and just find like a schedule a call with me type of thing. Even something like this. I don't want to make it too complicated right now. Save that image. Okay. Now I'm just gonna upload that same image into Aweber. Hopefully it pops up. Come on. There we go. You can resize it, whatever suits you. And then you can pull another paragraph in here. Probably have to do it this way. Right? And you could do something like schedule a time to speak with me. Center it. Let's make it bigger so it's nice and prominent. Maybe put on 2 lines even. Oops. And then if I go into our Visita account, and so I went to marketing and other links in Visita. We have all different kinds of things. So you have like set an appointment link, send a message link, or even just a contact page. So it really depends on what you want to use. You can see the different options. So this is like one of the options, looks really professional. They could send you a message from here. You can put in all your different social media things here, and they could literally book the appointment right from here. So you could do a Skype call, or just a consultative phone call, or you could just do it straight up, set an appointment with me. Something like that. And then you can add that into your Aweber. So just link this. Right? And then if I save it, now I could put that at the bottom of every one of my emails. And this is just another way for people to engage with you, for you to schedule calls. And I can nearly assure you, if you can set up about 5 of these a day, you're going to have a very, very good business. I mean, 5 good calls a day, in my personal opinion, will equal easily a 6-figure business this year. Okay, so this is something you may want to get in the habit of doing. Again, like, I'm kind of getting over the fact that these emails can't look like marketing. I'm like, look, they opted into a list to be marketed something to. Let's just be upfront about what we're doing here, and let's just do the marketing, right? So you could do something like that. We do something what we call a 30 for 30 call. So I'm not going to save this right now, but just an idea for some of you guys. That might be a really good idea. As far as segmentation is concerned, I saw Yuli write something about segmentation. For those of you that don't know what segmentation means, it's exactly what it sounds like. It basically means segmenting your list so that you can have other conversations with people. So for instance, let's say this follow-up sequence after 8-9 days is over and the person hasn't bought anything yet, but you have other affiliate programs that you're part of, or something else that you are interested in pitching to your list. So what you can do is you can build your own landing page. So let's say you have like a Facebook training course that you want to take them through, which is something that we do. And you can basically send them to a new landing page and give them a new opportunity. Like, if you're interested in learning about Facebook marketing, opt in here. And then when they opt in there, it'll move them to a new list inside of Aweber. And now you can have a conversation with them about Facebook versus continuing the conversation about SFM. So the way that that's done is under list options over here, you have a thing called list automation. And this is something we used to do pretty heavily with our main list. So we had like our main list used to be Satori leads back here. And you could see what we would do is we would bring them into kind of like a general list. And then that general list would basically segregate people out. So the object of the list wasn't to necessarily make a sale. It was to figure out what they were really interested in. So we would have all these different products and we would pitch it to them. And every one of those things, when they click through, was just a different landing page that they would opt into. So you can see you can set up these automation rules that would unsubscribe them from the main list, right, from our Satori leads list, when they subscribed to that other list. Why would you want to do that? Well, if you have them on multiple lists and you end up sending a broadcast, or you have autoresponders on both those lists, you're going to be bombarding that person's inbox with a lot of different things, and that's usually not very good practice. You kind of want to have very succinct conversations with people about what they say that they're interested in. And that's the idea of segmentation. So If your only offer right now is SFM, you don't need to worry about segmentation so much. We've actually requested from Stuart that he makes that they add an option in the back office. I don't know if they have yet, that when people take an application, that it actually pushes them to an applications list. We used to have that inside of Pro. Because look, once somebody becomes a member, you don't want to continue having the conversation with them about becoming a member. It's off-putting, it annoys them, and they don't understand why it's happening because they're still on the same list and they haven't unsubscribed yet. So it would definitely be valuable, I think, to everybody to have two different lists here, one of buyers and one of prospects. And in general, your buyers list is always going to be the much more responsive list. And what Ilan and I have been working on very, very hard over the first 3-4 months of this year is doing everything we can to stop generating leads and start generating a buyers list almost exclusively, to the point where I want to stop generating leads by the end of this year and only generating a buyers list. So there's a lot of different ways to do that, but I'm not going to get into that here. So is there any questions so far about anything that I showed you between Visita, adding something to the bottom of your email, making it look like a marketing email, or segmenting your list and why you would want to do that? Anything like that? I know I'm kind of moving through stuff kind of quickly. Let me see if I can help Dr. Jill out again. Yeah, so Dr. Jill, just to answer your question, she writes, when reviewing what's new in the back office, I did notice there's a new autoresponder code and put that in the Aweber section. So does that mean that every time SFM changes the bootcamp that we need to get the new autoresponder code? Yeah, absolutely, because you want the links going to the right places. So I would definitely do that. I noticed it right now too. I hadn't noticed that there was a new code. There's also a completely new bootcamp series coming out. I don't know if you guys, for those of you who are in London, you got to see the new landing page video. It's freaking amazing. I actually saw a sample of the new front end of the funnel. I mean, it just looks amazing. It's like the best thing I've seen, period, online. So, yeah, I'm pretty excited for what's coming. Tony, I don't know if you can find really much on segmentation. If you go back to previous sessions on email marketing, you might find more that we did. If you tell me specifically what are you trying to segment and why, maybe I can help you specifically with what you're trying to accomplish. But for the most part, again, if you're just marketing the SFM system and that's all you're doing, I would not worry about segmentation. It's going to be a very bad use of your time. But if you do have some other stuff you want to market and you want to build the front end to send them to other offers, then I actually would recommend that you segment your lists and have conversations with them customized to where they are in the process with you, okay? So let's talk about do's and don'ts. I touched up upon it a little bit when we got started. A big don't is don't constantly push your offer on people. It doesn't mean that it doesn't work. It's just not nearly as effective as it used to be. I really truly think that if your mindset is still on the short victories, you're looking at your business the wrong way, in my opinion. And again, it's just an opinion. You really do need to look at business building online no different than you would look at it offline. If you bought a store, on the corner of Main Street somewhere, you're not going to be expecting to be putting yourself in the profit in the first 2 weeks or make $1 million in the first 2 weeks. There's this extremely unrealistic view about building a business online and what it takes. You got to set proper expectations. I will tell you that the more you concentrate on relationship building, giving people value and goodwill, the bigger your business is going to get over time, significantly bigger. The way that we've grown our business 4 times in the last year is how we've done that, is just by really, really concentrating on the relationship side of our business, okay? So really quick, Terrell, Visita is the only one I've ever used, and it's just great, in my opinion. I'm sure there's other ones out there. If anybody knows of any other ones they've tried that are good. And just it's Visita, V-C-I-T-A, right? I put the link above. So definitely encourage you to use that. It can also add like a little contact here tab to your blog. So when people on your blog, this little thing pops up. And Time Driver. Yeah, I'm sure there's a bunch out there. You know, I just always thought the Cedar looked very professional, especially if you get the paid version. You can brand it. You can even take payments through it before people can schedule calls with you, which sometimes can be a good practice in establishing authority. So if you're on any of our lists these days, guys, you will notice that we do not sell literally anything on any of our lists anymore. In fact, I'm probably down to maybe doing 1 to 2 promotions per year. It's a little bit different when somebody opts in specifically for a program. So obviously if someone's opting in to learn about SFM, it's fine to tell them about SFM. I don't want you to like quiver away from doing that. So if somebody opts into our Facebook Niche Profits program, I'm not going to start talking to them about other stuff because they opted in for a very specific reason. But you may want to consider that while you're building your SFM list, another thing to do is to kind of build more of a general list of people who are interested in making money online, or people who are just interested in whatever it is that you want to talk to people about. And to those people, you really do want to deliver quality content. What does quality content look like? It's content that makes a difference in their life and what they're already doing. So again, I use this as an example all the time recently, but about 3 weeks ago, I did an interview with Marie Santos, and her market is, kind of like the mom entrepreneurs type market, and she's doing that marketing extremely well. So what she delivers to that audience is ways in which, their day-to-day stuff, how to make it better, how to make it more efficient, how to deal with your kids, things of that nature. And in that way, she attracts a lot of those kind of people because she offers them real-life solutions to real-life problems. And then she softly promotes SFM on the same pages where she's got that content. And this is where blogging comes into play. So if there's 2 things I would tell you that work together probably better than anything, it's your blog and your autoresponder. And when you're sending them to your blog, it shouldn't always be content about SFM or necessarily how to make money. They might be marketing already. They might have a business that they love already, and what they really need is assistance with how to generate more leads, or maybe they need training on time efficiency or accounting or whatever it is, whatever the market that that you can deliver good value to. You want to start concentrating your efforts on speaking to that market because you know that you can solve problems for that market. For Ilan and I, it just happens to be that we've been on Facebook for a long time, and we could solve a lot of people's Facebook marketing problems. So a lot of the stuff you see in our blog is about Facebook. But just to take you to our blog to show you kind of what we've done here. Look, our main interest, and where I know that I can provide the most value for people, is in marketing education, because I feel like for the most part, I don't think you could ever master marketing, but I have a pretty good, overall view of how it all works. Secondly, Ilan and I have been personal development coaches for a very long time, so we know that we can help people in that way and whatever issues they're having in their life, be it personal, business, relationships, doesn't matter. I know that I can offer a point of view that would truly make a difference. So if you scroll through our blog, you'll notice that the content is organized around the things that we know we can easily make a difference for people. And in that way, we're specifically attracting the people who we can make a difference for, right? So, you'll see like stuff about Facebook, but, here's like strictly a personal development post, just creating intrigue through kind of like an interesting title here, but this literally has nothing to do with making money. It's just that I know that I'm seeking a specific audience, and that will attract them here. So you'll notice that we never really talk about SFM specifically in our blog, but when we're talking about, hold on, if I go to our 6-Figure Mentors blog, you can kind of use your SFM authority blog the same way, but what you want to do is you want to get the right traffic over to your blog as often as possible, but where you want to let it work for you versus you working for it is this stuff over here is on the side for a reason, right? So if I'm attracting, let's say, business owners to my blog over and over again, and I'm giving business owner solution, here's how to be more efficient in your business, here's how to save money because here's accounting practices that most business owners don't know about. Maybe you read an interesting article, why I don't operate my business from 9 to 5, why I operate my business from 12 to 7. And in my testing, I found that increases my revenue, stuff like that, right? And you concentrate your efforts on increasing the traffic to your blog on people who would be interested in something like SFM or DBL, the sales will come naturally because those people will naturally gravitate here as a result of you being an authority for them in that field. You become the curator of that information, right? So again, if I'm bringing small business owners over here and they see DBL, it's a really natural transition for them because it's a congruent audience to the offers I have in my sidebar, but I'm not promoting anything directly to them. So their experience is that they've gone and discovered something on their own, and they basically sell themselves on it versus me having to tell them, have you looked at DBL? Have you looked at DBL? Have you bought DBL? And people don't appreciate that. They don't enjoy it. They don't like that process. Most people don't buy anything from anybody they don't like or trust, and they usually don't buy it unless they made the decision on their own. So if you manipulate someone, you control somebody, you convince them of something that they need to be doing, you'll see that they probably won't stick around for very long, and or they're going to waste your time and just like literally suck all the energy out of you because of they'll have these very weird expectations about what these systems are. So we've always found it much more effective to draw the people that we know are going to be interested in opportunities like this, and then just let the marketing on the side do what the marketing does. So that's something we highly encourage you guys to do, is to really take your mind off of making the sale and put your mind on delivering content that makes a difference for an audience that would want to buy these kind of systems. Okay, so that could be small business owners, it could be momtrepreneurs, it could be former network marketers or current network marketers who are really struggling with their business. It could be people who are, any kind of work-at-home person, anybody who's struggled to get a job over the last few years. It could be people in real estate. It could be people who are traders, people who are seeking for that freedom of life. Your average 9-to-5er, especially when they're younger, is in work mode. That's what they know. That's what they believe in. And that's why our main demographic for SFM is about the 40 to 55-year-old people who've been around the block for a while. They see that there's really no opportunity increasing their quality of life by just doing the good old 9-to-5 thing, and they're looking for a better way. They're looking for a solution, and that's why a big portion of our demographic who joins this company is in that age range. Any questions about what I'm offering here? I mean, this is really, really valuable in terms of what's going to make a difference for you, in terms of the branding, in terms of you becoming an authority figure to a specific demographic. Any questions about what I'm sharing here? This is something we kind of been drumming up a lot over the last few months. Okay. Pete Harris, I'll definitely get to your question in a little bit. Okay, I just want to see if everyone's with me so far, because I know I've been doing a lot of talking. My voice feels like it's going. Guys, I can't emphasize it enough, honestly. The quality content thing, how big of a difference it's going to make in your business. And it's going to make you enjoy your process a lot more when you're engaging people that way. Okay, cool. I appreciate the feedback, Dave. So guys, yeah, can't emphasize that enough. You want to do this through YouTube. You want to do this through article writing. If you've seen Ilan and I have a podcast that we started. I could tell you just by doing that consistently, we've grown the podcast downloads from last month to this month by threefold. We went from 500 downloads in February. We're already at 1,500 downloads in March. So it just shows you what happens when you start giving people content that makes a difference in their lives. They keep coming back. And if you think about even how you choose your news channels, I don't personally watch news anymore, but again, it's all curated data, right? They're all giving you the same crap, but how come some people choose CNN over Fox News or BBC over, CNN or whatever it is? You have the resource that you quote unquote you trust, and if they say something, you take their word for it. And if they reference something, you're going to go look at it, more likely than maybe some other resource. You kind of want to set yourself up the same way online. You have to think to yourself, what do I know well enough that I can easily make a difference for people? And it doesn't have to be, complicated. Like Yuli's saying, I'm starting to see good results from being consistent with our Hangouts. right, because they get on there and they literally interact with people and they make a difference for them. And that has them build that trust. They like you, that awareness. And it doesn't mean everybody has to like you, but a portion of a specific demographic needs to like you. Okay? So anything that you can do to get in front of people and give them valuable content, again, I think I'm beating this horse dead, something silly. So any questions at all? I know Pete had one real quick. I'll get to it right now. Pete, you asked about links, right? Let me just check. Pull it out here again. Pete asked, hi, can you please show us how to change the hyperlink within the email sequence? Thanks. Sure. So if we go back into the sequence, go to the SFM one. So Pete, for the most part, inside the sequence, you don't really need to change the hyperlink. The reason for that is if you have your, I'll go back to it again. If you have these global snippets set up and you put in your username over here, it's going to automatically populate all the links in the emails with your username. And that way you don't have to go in there and change anything. So it's literally like it will globally change everything for you. So make sure that you have your username in there or whatever people are clicking on is actually not going to your pages. So I'll open up one of the emails to show you what I mean. So here we go. So this is a link right back here in red. So you'll see, so this is the link over here, but you'll see over here, it says iGlobal username. So because I have that snippet set up, it's going to put in for us Satori Prime over here. So whatever you put in there, it's populating that link for you. And that way when people click on it, they're actually going over to your page. If you don't do that, then it's going to basically a default landing page, and you're not going to get credit for it. So you gotta make sure that you do that, okay? And all these should be set up the same way. Yeah, you see, they all have it. So just make sure that that's set up. If you do want to, create your own hyperlink, that's fine. So like, let's say I wanted to grab one of my links over here. So I'm just going to grab any one of them. I'm going to copy it. And then let's say for whatever reason I wanted to hyperlink this part, I'm going to just, highlight it. And then this chain looking thing over here is how you link. Pretty much it looks the same all over the web. And then I'm going to go ahead and paste that link in there. I think paste it in there. There you go. And then you see it turns blue, and now that's a hyperlink. So if I want to change that, again, I just double click on it, and I can change it to whatever I want. Hope that answers your question. Pete writes, what I'm trying to do is change the old application link to the new one. Again, I don't know that you would need to do that as long as you have your global snippets set up. I actually haven't gone through the autoresponder in quite some time. But yeah, if you want to do that, you would need to, thank you very much. You would need to just get the link from the, so let's see if we can find it. And that's the app sign up page. I think this might be the old one. Yeah. Maybe it's this one. There you go. All right. So I just want to make sure I got the right one for you. So over here under My Links, under your marketing system, so this is the membership sign up page, which is basically your app page, I believe. Let me just double check that one more time. Yep. So if you grab that link, you can copy and paste it. And then, yeah, wherever it is in the autoresponder, I couldn't tell you all the places because I'm sure there's a slew of them. You can then go in and, let's say I go to the older. the ones later down the line. Here, like this one's called Submit Your Application Today. I'm assuming there's an app link in there. Yeah, so like, obviously I'd have to change this too because it's not 1995. But if I wanted to change that, I'm just going to double click on it and then I'm going to paste that code that I just got from there. And that's it. It would be changed, and then I would just do it in all the locations. And then I would save it, and we're good to go. Hopefully that answers your question. Also, Pete, we're also, just so you know, we're over here on Facebook. I'll drop the link for you, and that's just that way you can ask your questions and have everyone kind of engage with it as well, help you out. All right, cool. Looks like you got your question answered. And I just sent you the link as well. All right, cool. Any other questions, guys, like that? Look, for our target audience, email hasn't really died quite as much, but I could tell you for the younger audiences around the world, I mean, kids between 20 and 25 check their email about once every 3 months or so. So there's really just not a lot of communication to be had with them. Again, it's still viable for our target audience because we're in like kind of the 40 to 55 range, and they still use email right now. But there's a shift, and open rates are definitely down. Click-through rates are definitely down when it comes to email. So the only way that people are going to consistently engage with your emails is not because you're pitching them your opportunity every 15 seconds. It's because you're giving them a reason to open up that email. So I'm extremely, me personally, and I'm sure you are too if you really look at it, I know you might be on a lot of email lists, but I want you to think about how many of them you actually open on a regular basis and read what they have to say. And my guess is the ones that you do is because to you, they've become an authority figure of some kind. You trust their word and you trust what they are going to offer you. Outside of that, you probably don't open too many emails anymore. So if you just think about your personal experience and apply that, that's probably what everyone's going through also. So couldn't talk about that enough. All right, I think I'm going to get off email unless you guys have any other questions, and let's talk about landing pages. Again, I cannot emphasize enough, if you are just marketing SFM, I don't think there's anything you need to do to recreate the wheel. Your only main concentration here, outside of maybe trying to engage people more to talk to you on the phone, is to just find a good quality traffic source that converts consistently for you. The moment you do that, and we talked about it in the tracking webinar like the week before, the moment you do that, this becomes so easy and you're going to wonder why you overcomplicated it, okay? Yeah, it looks like she says, okay, I'm currently having trouble loading the free branded report into the snippets area. Any chance you could go through it, please? Absolutely. So let's do that. I haven't done it in a while. Let's see if I can remember how. I believe if you go into marketing, you have simple report brander down here. There should be a new one coming down the pike too, not too long from now. So you can, put your headshot in here, your name, affiliate username obviously is very important. Oh, it looks like it's already up. Cool. I didn't know that either, so might as well go through that with you guys. You guys are on more webinars than I am. You know what's going on probably more than I do. So like if I wanted to brand this for us, let's see if I can find a picture here. Let's use this one. Okay. Label it. I'm not even going to worry about that. Oh, I guess I have to. All right, so it looks like that's saved now, hopefully. So I have my advertising link, so I can either view or download it or go to my advertising link. So this is my link up here. Okay, that's the actual advert of the link, but I think you do want the, let's see what happens when I click on this. There you go. So this is where you're going to want your emails because you don't need them to re-opt in once they've already opted into your list. So I'm going to just copy that link that's up here. I'm going to go back to my list settings. So again, I'm under list settings, and I'm in the personalize your lists part. So it's step 2 over here. And then under free report, I'm going to just update this link, and I'm going to just paste in that link I just grabbed from my URL bar. I'm going to hit update, and I'm going to save settings, and voila, the new report is now in there. So now that's the 2014 report. Hopefully that, did you guys get that? I can redo it if I need to. Lisa, did that clarify that for you? Why are you, so you wrote that you're having a problem through TidyURL. Why are you putting it through TidyURL and not just using the main link? Or maybe I'm just not understanding your question. I'm also just going to go ahead and update the list so you guys can see how that's done too, since it seems like there's all new stuff back here. So for those of you guys who are wondering how to update your lists as well, over here under follow-up series. So I'm just going to scroll to the bottom, and I'm just going to grab that code over here and copied it. And I'm just going to paste it in here and load that campaign. And then that will put all the new emails in there for me. Okay, yeah, I mean, I don't, obviously whatever Stu showed, I haven't been through all the new training, so I'm not exactly clear. If you meant to put it, yeah, in Aweber, that's fine. Obviously, you can grab that branded link, and you can use this anywhere, guys. This is stuff you can share on Facebook. This is stuff you can put into articles that you write. So if you're going to write something about, again, it needs to be congruent, right? But if you're going to write about something that involves lead generation, and you can say like, here's the blueprint that I'm using that my mentor taught me, and you can actually put the link for people to go download it, and that way you can get people on your list. And again, it's like always lead with value. So the first experience somebody had with you is like, oh, this person's giving me value, and now they're giving me a report, as well. So you might want to take this advertising link and actually put this into your articles or when you share a post online. And then again, it's like, guys, you're always leading with value. You want to be the person who's known as somebody who doesn't just ram things down people's throats, controls and manipulates an outcome. Be more than just a door-to-door salesman. I urge you. Lisa, did that clarify for you? Just so I know if I can move on. Don't know if you wrote or not. Okay, cool. Perfect. And then I think this finished uploading. So yeah, guys, you can see like, now that I have the new bootcamp series in here. So before where I only had like 10. It looks just probably the same. Maybe they just, fix some of the copy in there and the links and stuff like that. Again, for me, I'm definitely about giving people less on the pitch and more on the value side. So I don't necessarily like having that many emails. I don't think anybody needs 20-something emails to know about something. Back in the old pro days, we used to have over 100 emails in our autoresponders. Just give you kind of a difference in what used to be and what goes on today. Any other questions about email at all? Spend a few, about 15 minutes on landing pages here. All right, well, let's look at landing pages again. Like I said before, I implore you to use the main funnels inside of Facebook. Inside of SFM. But if you are, really want to get out there, you want to start establishing your brand, you want to send people to landing pages off maybe an article or a YouTube video or something like that, where the first touch point was with you, they might get a little confused with seeing Stu on the next page, unless you obviously make a valid introduction where you say you'll meet my mentor Stu on the next page, which has worked extremely well for us, to be perfectly honest. Just doing that and not having to be the front end of the SFM funnel. But if you would like to do some stuff like that, in the back of a DBL, you have simple lead capture. It should be under your IM tools, and you have this tool called Simple Lead Capture. And over here is where you can build your own landing pages. So very simply, if you haven't been in here before, right next to your landing pages up here, you have this thing that says Create New Lead Capture Page. And up here is where you could find some pre-templated landing pages. Just quickly see over here. Let's see, I have a question. Okay. Nicole, again, the Facebook page, if you look down in the chat box and go to webinar, there's a link for it there. And you can ask for, just join the group, and then you can start commenting with everybody. Richard, you asked a membership question. That's definitely more for support, a support question. I'm not support for SFM. I'm just an affiliate like you. So anything that you have system-oriented questions should definitely go into support question. Somebody just wrote, what do you think? But I don't know what that means. Okay, cool. Anything here? Cool. Cool, cool, cool. All right, Nicole, you're here. Beautiful. All right, so let's continue with our little lesson here. So guys, yeah, I mean, these are, pretty good themes for landing pages. So you can just literally click through and get really nice, easy to use templated landing page themes. We'll talk about a little bit of etiquette with landing pages as well, do's and don'ts, and some of the myths in the industry. Personally, things like these tend to work really, really well. Things with like these beautiful backgrounds, kind of like lifestyle photos. So if we were just to use this one, I'm just going to use this theme, and we can go through a simple setup process over here. This is the kind of stuff that's easy to do. So let's just talk about proper expectations. You'll notice that most of the landing pages inside the SFM system have videos on them. You'll notice that most of the landing pages that Ilan and I do, if you follow our stuff, have videos on them. So one of the myths of the industry is oftentimes you'll see ads in Facebook, especially once you start getting into this industry and start getting concerned with your opt-in rate, is that people will tout things like a 70 or 80% opt-in rate. Now, I would tell you to dismiss that, those numbers completely, and not because it doesn't mean those people aren't doing those numbers, but in order to do those numbers, it means you have to tell the person as little as possible on your landing page in order to do that, because the reason they're getting opt-in rates at such a high rate is because of what they've done is they've created curiosity enough such that the people want to get to the next page, but they're giving such few information or such little information on the front end that the person doesn't really know what they're opting in for. So what those people who are getting 70, 80% opt-in rates aren't telling you is that probably half those emails are fake because people just entered them out of pure curiosity, and that they didn't give any information on the front end, which means that they really aren't getting qualified leads. So even though their front end opt-in rate might be amazing, I can nearly guarantee you their conversion rate for sales on the back end are absolutely abysmal. And notice that those people will never talk about their back end conversions. They'll always just tell you about their amazing opt-in rates and how everyone should be doing what they're doing. But they're not making sales. All they're doing is generating leads. And honestly, who gives a shit about a lead that doesn't convert? So having said that, a proper expectation for any landing page that has a video on it in general, just kind of like a It's not a hard and fast rule, but it's a rule of thumb. I would say somewhere between the mid-teens to about 25%. So a page with a video that really does a good job of qualifying people, meaning like you call out the people, like if you're a business owner and you're interested in X, Y, Z, then you might be interested in what's on the other side of this page. And you qualify somebody, most likely a good page like that is going to do about 25%. From time to time, we'll squeeze them out a little bit higher. But again, I'm telling you guys that these days, my shift in my mentality has been is that I don't want the opt-in, and I write copy that doesn't get the click. What I mean by that is when I write advertising on Facebook, I'm literally trying to make people avoid clicking on it that I don't want clicking on it. So I will do everything I can in my power to qualify the lead from the moment they see my ad, because I honestly don't care about tire kickers. I don't care about people who are just interested in finding out more. I want serious business people. That's who buy this product, right? People who are looking to make a shift in their life. People who understand that the 9-to-5 model is dying and it's time for some new education. People who are small business owners who are struggling. People who have been in network marketing and they don't know how to freaking generate one lead, and their upline is still telling them to go stand in front of a shopping mall to hand out business cards, and they think that's freaking crazy. Those are your customers. So I want to do everything I can from the moment someone sees my ad to make sure that only those people are clicking on my ad. That means my CTRs are going to be lower. That means my CPCs are going to be higher. But guys, my conversions on my back end, generally I do between 10 and 20 leads. And I don't do a lot of leads into the SFM system, but between 10 and 20 leads for me usually take an application. If you don't qualify people on the front end, you're going to look at more of the 1 to 3%, which means you're probably going to see a conversion on an application, about 1 to 3 conversions for about every 100 leads you put into the system. So again, I strongly urge you to use landing pages that do create some kind of qualification, even if the lead is more pricey for you. I'm telling you, ultimately, the value on the back end will be much greater, because I don't care if you know how to generate 500 leads a day. If not one of those people is taking an application, guess what? That's not a good lead, and even though your lead cost was, I don't know, 50 cents per lead and mine's $1.50, but I'm converting 1 out of 20, guess who's making out better on the back end? So you got to reconfigure your mind a little bit, and the honest truth is that you get what you pay for, just like everything else in life, right? So when you pay more for leads, you tend to get the better crop of leads as well. So it's kind of give and take, and people get very obsessed with their CTRs and lowering their CPC costs, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but who cares about those numbers if there's no conversions? So you got to keep that in mind always, okay? It's a little bit of a balancing act when it comes to those two things. But just for, in all intents and purposes in terms of putting together a landing page here, very easy. You saw me select a theme. I'll call it something. So maybe this is like my SFM test 1 page. My page link. I don't even know if I need to do this, to be honest. I don't actually use the software very often. I'm just going to skip that for now. There's by the way, there's training videos on every part of this over here. I'm not really sure what it means by training link, but we could take a look real quick together. I think all it means is just what you want to name the page. So it could be, same thing, SFM test 1. And that'll be probably the link that goes here. Media, I can add, change the background. There's a bunch of really, really high quality shots over here. So it's very easy to make changes for this landing page without having to go out there and find high quality pictures. Just obviously make sure that it's congruent in some way, shape, or form. But you see that even back here, we're not niching you into having to create something for business every time. There's different niches back here: fitness, lifestyle, landscape. So if you want to aim at a different market, you obviously can, right? But let's say like we wanted to use this interview one. You could put a logo in here if you want. You don't have to. You can even add a video if you want to. So if I was to embed a video, it would add it on here. So you could take one of Stu's video and add it to this page and then test it against the traditional funnels inside of SFM, or you could put an image. But like we just talked about, videos are probably the best thing to put on a landing page for qualified traffic. And I know here's where a lot of people get a little bit confused. The form code. So opt-in code is really the HTML that Aweber spits out that allows you to put people on a specific list. So if we log back into Aweber here, and I'm on my SFM list, and I go into sign-up forms, and let's say, I don't know, I'm just going to pick one of them. Let's say I created a form here. Number one, make sure that if you're only taking email, right? And I encourage you really don't need people's first names. In fact, the lower conversions on your pages, you really only need to capture email address. That the form back here only has the email address, not both the email address and name. So you're going to want to remove, most of them will probably look something like this when you first open it. Just remove the name field. You don't need it. And then you can literally just save the form, go to your settings, and what you'll have to do is just pick where you want the lead to go. So once they opt in, make sure that you're sending them to, some kind of sales page in the SFM system. Again, very simple to do. Under marketing, you have your link generator. So let's say from this landing page, I wanted to send it to Stu's countdown page. Right? So I can click on that, and then I could do click here to preview thank you page. So I could just copy and paste this link basically. So I'm copying it, bringing it back into Aweber, and now I'm going to paste it over here into the thank you page field. And then again, I'm going to save it. And then I'm going to go to publish, and when you go to publish, you want to install your own form, but you don't want to grab the JavaScript. You want to grab the raw HTML from here. And then you can copy and paste this in. Again, I'm just copying it. And then I'm going to paste that into where it asks for the opt-in code. I'll paste it in there. I think if I took the stylized form. For some reason with Aweber, this doesn't always work. So you see it says include beautiful form styles. You actually don't want to include the form style. I know this is a little bit complicated, but I don't know why they do this. So you see where this, anytime you see an HTML code, a slash, and then the code name, so like style, that means it's closing it out, closing out that part of the code. And up here you'll see it says style where it opens it. So you don't need the style portion of this. You just need the form. Basically from where it says form input down to, let's see where, I think just down to script. So if I copy and paste that, there you go. So you can see that kind of brought it back. I think I messed it up a little bit, but there you go. And then you're going to want to send your leads to the SFM system, right? And then you could just easily change the button name. So if I wanted to, make this get instant access, I could do that. It looks like you can actually pick your thank you page from here also if you don't set it into your code, which is fine. And you can put a thank you message, which you really don't need to do. And then that's it, guys. Then you can have this pretty much set to go. And if you were here for the tracking webinar like a week or two ago, you'll know that I'll never just run traffic through one landing page or to one funnel. I'll always rotate it. And so if I was going to test this, I would test it against a traditional funnel inside of the SFM system. I would never just run this one alone. Okay, and I want to see if I could beat what I'm doing with the traditional stuff, and then keep split testing all the time. So I'm not going to get to split testing because we did a really, really thorough job of explaining it last few weeks. So if you need to go back and watch that training, I strongly urge you to do so. And that's pretty much it, guys. That's, that would be very simple ways to create lead pages, to create landing pages. If you want, more advanced ways of creating landing pages, two things that we use are Optimized Press, and another system we use is Lead Pages. If you want to know where to find them, either ask in the comment box and I can drop our links in there, or you can personal message me and I'll be happy to assist you separately. And with that said, that's pretty much today's training. Today was pretty heavy on the training. So I hope I didn't lose you. And B, let me know if there's any questions. So how do you upload your own images into simple lead capture? Good question. Let's see if you can. here we go. So under background image, if you scroll all the way down, it says your image, and then you can grab, it has to be a hosted image. So hosted is really any image that's been uploaded to a website. So for instance, let me see. It's not going to fit the page, but I'll just show you what I mean by hosted image. So any picture you see that's on a website is hosted somewhere. So if I wanted to grab the link for this picture, I could just right-click on it. Come on. And then I could do copy image URL. And if I bring that into simple lead capture and paste it in here, see how it changes? And I could center it, left it, tile it, repeat it, whatever. So obviously you want a really big high-resolution picture that's going to give you a nice clear picture. Like I wouldn't do something that looks grainy like this. I just want to show you an example. And then same thing would be with the logo. If I want a logo up here that's my logo, I could like go copy this image URL, bring it in here, and I can't show it to you because it's a little bit above the fold, but our logo, there it is. And now the logo is there, okay? So it would have to be a hosted image. And then same thing here for video. If I wanted to add a video, I'd have to go get the embed code from YouTube. So let's say, let's say you downloaded a video of Stuart or whatever, and you wanted to add that into your landing page. In YouTube, every single video has an embed code. It's under Share over here, under Share and then Embed. So I could just grab this embed code right here. Again, copy it, bring it to simple lead capture, paste it in here, and I have a video. So I would need to resize it, but there it is. Oops. There you go. Probably a little bit bigger. Yep. And then if you want to clean up the video look, you can use the Your2 Player app, which is also back here in DBL. You have this Your2 Player, and then you can customize the look and feel of the the YouTube video so it looks more professional as well. Any other questions about that? Yep, same. Miranda, yeah, I mean, look, it's, so, some people mentioned, do you really erase them? I do. Guys, it's not something I recommend everyone does. It just kind of depends on where you are in your journey right now and how comfortable you are with your level of expertise, what kind of value you can deliver for people. I don't find, for me personally, any value in sending an email that says the same thing to somebody 25 times in a row. Like if you went to a car, when you go to like a car dealership and you don't buy the car, how many times, I don't know if it's like this in the UK, but in the United States it's definitely like this. Like how many times does that person email and call you after that to try to make that sale? And then think about how that feels. Do you love that or you despise that human being? You're like, stop calling me. If I wanted to buy it, I would, right? It's kind of the same thing. If they wanted it, they would get it. Is there a way to establish a relationship with them through emails? Absolutely, right? But it's just the way that it is, So yeah, exactly. Like you're going to see your open rates drop off because again, it's like people are just losing interest. Generally speaking, your first 1 to 3 emails are what's going to be open the most. If by then most people haven't made the decision, they're most likely not to move forward. Now, look, that's not always the case. Like most relationships in life, a lot of it has to do with timing. Like most of the relationships I've had with women in my life, even if they were great relationships, sometimes they don't work out. It's just not the right timing. Business is kind of the same thing. It's like you introduce somebody to a new idea, a new relationship, and sometimes they're struggling with something. They're having family issues. They really don't have money. They can't invest the time in it, even though they know that they want it. So people are in so many different places. So yeah, sometimes, sending emails is a good reminder for somebody like, oh yeah, I want to do that a few months from now. But for the most part, it's kind of annoying. And the only way to really keep open rates up and have people look at your stuff is if they're getting some kind of value from it. Like You guys don't watch TV shows that you're not getting some kind of value from. You don't read books that you're not getting some kind of value from. Even if it's mindless entertainment value, that's why you keep opening them. It's kind of the same thing. You want to become a trusted authority so that when you say you really should check out this SFM system, that person's like, Miranda told me to do that. I should definitely check that out. She knows what she's talking about. When you can get to that place, sales become really easy to make. As far as Andres, look, you know, SFM is on Infusionsoft. The back end, their personal autoresponder, all that stuff, the way that once an application comes through, all the automation, all that's built in Infusionsoft. But if we had to if we required every single person to jump on Infusionsoft, I mean, the cost to set up Infusionsoft just to get going is $2,000, and then $350 a month. Considering Aweber costs $1 and then $19 a month, I think that's a much more viable solution for most people. So could they be on Infusionsoft? Of course they could be, but it's just not cost effective for most people. So it's like, you know, you guys, a lot of people come into this business and they really don't see how much they're getting for their membership fee, and they look at it as this massive expense. Guys, for the amount of stuff you get in your back office for the membership fee here at SFM, it's mind-boggling. Like Ilan and I pay for the same stuff, probably thousands of dollars a month. And that's just because we didn't have a system like this to leverage when we got going. So very, very, very cool that like DBL is built in. You don't have to do your own hosting. You don't have to go out there and buy all these tools. You don't need tracking software. You don't need to go buy lead capture pages. And especially, again, if all you're doing is SFM, then you don't need any of those extra bells and whistles. Just drive traffic, and the system works. I'm telling you from personal experience, it absolutely works. All right, guys, we got about 5 more minutes. Is there any other questions I can handle? Anything that is not clear? You wanted me to maybe review again? Anything at all like that? I know today was pretty content heavy. Usually we do a little bit more balanced, but it's just a lot of stuff to cover, technically speaking. All right, I'll give it about 15, 30 more seconds, and then if there aren't any other questions, I'll close it up. I'm a little confused. Miranda, I don't think you need to. I haven't actually looked. Check out the autoresponder sequence, because I can tell you one of the big mistakes that we made in the last year was giving people the 3 application option versus just doing a paid app. And it's funny because back in the pro days, we also tried a free app thing. Ironically, Ilan and I made that work really well, but most of the community did not. And it actually hurt conversions company-wide pretty bad. So there's a new application page right now that's a $29.95 application. I strongly, strongly urge you to concentrate your efforts on that application page. There's just a very big difference in quality between someone who takes a free app and just wants a free ride versus somebody who's willing to pay $30 to go through a process. They just haven't changed it yet, Miranda. So you can go in there and change it yourself. They're working on a whole new bootcamp sequence right now. They just finished all the videos, I think this week. So these changes have kind of happened in the background. So if you're sending people through some of the newer funnels, they don't say $19.95. It's all set up the right way, but the autoresponder, I guess, did not get updated. And again, that's something I don't know. I don't know if the new code has the changes or not. You'd have to look yourself. I mean, I could look for you right now. Yeah, because I saw on the page that obviously I was working on before, it said $19.95, which, you know, again, if you definitely want to go and change that if you're sending people to the new application page. Let's see right now together. Yeah, so this still looks like it's $19.95, but I have a feeling that it is sending people to the $19.95 page. Yeah, so it's still sending people back there. So only if you're gonna swap this out manually should you change that to $29.95. So it's still congruent. So it doesn't mean this doesn't work, guys, but I could tell you there's this book out there called Paradox of Choice. The more choices people have, the less they're usually inclined to make a decision about something. So you'll actually see a lot of, I've just from reading research papers recently, I know because I'm that big of a nerd, a lot of companies are actually scaling back the choices. If you remember when we were kids, there was like 2 toothpastes to choose from. Now there's like 75. Like I don't even know which one to take anymore. So kind of the same thing, like companies are realizing by scaling back on choices, they're actually making more money. I don't know, Miranda. Again, like anything that has to do technical stuff with the company, I'm an affiliate like you guys. News rolls out to me at the same time as it rolls out to you for the most part. Here and there, I get some insights into what's happening, and I get to get feedback on landing pages and sales pages and stuff like that because we're in the trenches every day. But as far as rollout company-wide, probably a good idea to get on the Friday calls with Jay and Stu, and they usually give updates on when to expect stuff. But, you know, marketing is, you got to be, yeah, I think he just said he finished it, right? And he'll be discussing it on the founders call, exactly. So, yeah, just got to be pliable. You know, sometimes they'll give you a deadline and it's just either something in development or something with software or something's not working or they run some traffic through it and they find that it's not converting, so they don't bring it out or they rework it or re-engineer it. Just marketing is all about being able to pivot quickly and be pliable. So, all right, guys. Hopefully you learned stuff today. Again, if you have any questions, you know, you can personal message me if you want to know about the tools that we use. Yes, I got my new road bike. I've probably ridden it the last 7 out of 10 days. I love it. And there's hills everywhere I live, so it's kicking my ass. And it's funny. You can figure out that you're not in shape very quickly. All right, guys. Love talking to you. We will not be... Yeah, man, please do. Come bring a surfboard, too. And we're not on here next week. Next week is Jay and Stu. And... yeah, Tony, just hit me up on a PM on a personal message, and I'll take care of that with you. All right. All right, my friends. Thanks for coming out. Hope you're having a great day, and we'll talk to you in 2 weeks. Take it easy.